Warning. This video blog or vlog may contain harsh language and opinions that are not necessarily in line with YouTube or its partners or affiliates. YouTube does not openly endorse the content of this vlog. All opinions are expressly those of Ranting Ramsay and do not reflect on the opinions or values of YouTube, its affiliates, or its parent or partner companies.
Greetings, Internet people. Ranting Ramsay here. How are you all doing today? I'm going to skip my normal babbling at the beginning of the video and just get right into the topic, because I'm sure by the title you guys are relatively intrigued by what my opinions are on this particular subject. I've received a lot of messages and comments and this, that, and the other on various videos and on my channel, and personal messages, excuse me, asking for my opinion on this particular subject, and I've decided that I just simply cannot keep it in any longer. So, excuse me, feeling a little gassy today. Anyway, I'm going to start out by saying I have linked in the description a video by a YouTube user by the name of Liberal Viewer, who does a much better job of pointing out certain aspects of this argument than I could personally do. He is a much more eloquent individual who puts a lot more time into his videos than I do. He did a video on this subject recently, as in today, and I thought you all should watch that to get a more complete set of facts on the issue, because like I said, he does a better job of putting his videos together than I do. And I agree with his opinions and his assessment of the situation wholeheartedly. And so, there you go. There's something else to watch after you get done watching this video, and to see where I got a lot of my, I guess, maybe inspiration. Finally go ahead and do this video. Anyway, I'm going to basically say that my basic opinion on Wikileaks is that I'm all for it. I think it's great. I think it's one of the best things ever to happen in the history of the fucking world. I am all for transparency of government. I think that our current government, and has for quite some time, does way too many things on its own, unbeknownst to the American people, under the guise of it's for their own good. Whereas they seem to have lost the conception of the picture that the American government is supposed to be for the people, by the people, meaning that the people decide what's for its own good. The fact that the government has become this independent entity that makes decisions on its own without checking with or notifying the American people is absolutely just a perversion of the intended system, in my personal opinion. Now, the argument could be made that that is government, a small group of people enforcing their will upon the masses. But in a country that touts itself as being a free country governed for the people, by the people, I find this as an unacceptable situation. I think the government is hiding way too much from us, that it is way too opaque for any benefit to the American people. And also, on the tails of that government has grown too large, but not because of any one particular party. I don't buy into the whole Democrats want big government, Republicans want small government bullshit. I think at this point that both Democrats and Republicans are playing the American people, and that they all get together and shake hands and laugh about how much money they're all making for themselves, while the American people are caught up in this whole Republican versus Democrat debate and split right down the fucking middle, and thus incapable of voicing any uniform opinion or putting forth any uniform decision. We're too caught up in the minutia of the political party system to realize that it doesn't matter to us as citizens. It is labels that the government has enforced upon the rest of us to create division. Politicians are politicians, regardless of being Democrat or Republican. They're out for their own interest to make money for themselves and clandestinely enact policies that will accomplish exactly that, whilst publicly putting up the front that they're working to get legislation passed that will benefit you and your viewpoints. Now, I understand that the American people actually do differ on opinion in a lot of various things, but I think the political machine has a massive major hand in creating the division and splitting us apart and making it so that we can't see each other's side of viewpoints. And I think also the media machine has a just as large hand in that. But like I said, this problem has persisted for decades as it pertains to too large of government. It's not one, like I said, because of any one political party, because in my personal opinion, the political party division is simply a distraction. What the basic offshoot of that is that the American public wind up going to sleep due to the fantasies that the media presents to them. And that's another issue all in of itself, is what the media presents to the American public, and the fact that a large portion of the American public does not seem to possess the critical thinking capabilities required to see through the veil of deception of the American media. Fact. I mean, you can't really say it any better than that. It's absolutely fact. And to water it down and say it another way, the American public basically just stops paying attention to issues that are pertinent and gets caught up in the bullshit that the American media is presenting to them. And that basically, all of that basically means that the government does what it wants clandestinely while throwing the citizens a bone in public. Like, they'll give you some piece of legislation or put up front some piece of legislation, like, for lack of a better example, the whole public health care option bullshit that went just horribly, horribly wrong a few months ago. They put that out in the forefront, and I have no proof or haven't done the research, but I imagine that there were other pieces of legislation that passed through that affect the American people that we have not even been made aware of during that time period, because there was such a focus on the healthcare thing. I guarantee you that there was something else that went through that is going to fuck us over in the end that we weren't even made aware of, because the citizens of America do not perform their civic duty of investigating what the government is doing, which is the other side of the equation of the government's doing what the fuck it wants, but the citizens aren't bothering to investigate it and figure out what the hell is going on. And that brings me to another point that I've been wanting to make, is that the American people simply aren't paying enough attention to what their government is doing. And that brings us back to the whole point of Wikileaks, in that Wikileaks proves that the American people are not paying attention to what the government is doing, because a lot of the things that they've leaked recently are things that people like me and other more over-the-top conspiracy theorists have been talking about amongst ourselves for quite some time, and these WikiLeaks things just proves it. Like, see, we told you, this shit's been going on. But the fact that the average citizen would be so outraged about facts being released that they should have already known goes to show that the complacency and lack of personal investment in their own country that the average American citizen has. They're not invested in the governing of themselves. They'd rather have their HD TVs and their cars and their homes and all the stupid little bullshit things that we believe that we should be owning because media tells us that we're nothing if we don't have these things. They're too busy caught up in that stupid bullshit fucking rat race of crap to understand that the government is enacting world policies and doing things on fucking other shores that the rest of us normal, right-minded people would go, what the fuck are you doing? WikiLeaks is bringing this shit out into the public, and now the American media is demonizing them for that, going, they're treasonous, they're being espionage, they're trying to hurt America, when the whole fucking situation is built on misinformation, lies, and exaggeration to begin with. I simply don't understand why the American people would be so outraged at someone finally pointing out the hypocrisy and bullshit lies that our government is telling us. It doesn't make any motherfucking sense to me that people would be so upset about this situation. You have absolutely nothing to be upset about except for the bullshit that your own government is trying to pull behind your backs. Why would you demonize the Wikileaks guy, Assange? I can't remember his first name off the top of my head. Why would he be so demonized when the fault lies with the American government? Whiskey, Tango, Foxtrot. I'm Ranting Ramsay. That is all.
Hey, did you get all that, man?
Douche.